on, dude. What is going on, cast and crew? Welcome back to Tyler's Theater. So we're just gonna jump in today and talk about Superman. I'm gonna give this movie a 3.5 out of 10. Alright, so jumping into this plot, it's pretty simple. There's nothing too complicated. We start off with Superman. And he's been a hero now for some time, but he's still kind of the new hero on the block. Apparently heroes have been around for 3 centuries, and he's basically like the most recent. The plot of this movie is people are just trying to accept Superman for who he is. It's pretty simple. He's battling Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor has kind of his own anti-hero group. Luthor is basically using his smarts and analytics to take down Superman or make him look really bad in the public eye. And so about midway through this movie, Luthor is able to make his way into the Fortress of Solitude, and he finds a video from Superman's parents basically explaining that Superman came to Earth to kind of be a dictator, to rule over the people of Earth, to basically use his power for kind of selfish reasons. Everyone completely turns head and is now against Superman. And so as the movie progresses to the end, Superman is able to accept himself for who he is and basically hopes that people can just accept him and that he's human and that he makes mistakes, that he makes flaws, but that his intentions are always good, right? Like he always wants to save people and he wants to help them and just do what is right. He's struggling in his relationship with Lois, and he can only do what he can to amend those mistakes and continue to do good. So why, Tyler, are you giving this movie a 3.5 out of 10? To me, guys, this movie was just so stupid. It was annoying. It gave me a really bad headache. I don't think the plot was very detailed. And because there was such a level of stupidity, I feel like it just distracted me from actually some good things that were in the movie. For example, I thought the performances were decent. Thank God for Nicholas Hoult, though. He was the perfect casting choice for Lex Luthor. He brought that like psychopathic jealousy, analytical craziness to the character that Lex Luthor is known for. Nicholas Hoult read the assignment, he understood it, and he performed it perfectly. To me, he stole kind of this movie and was the best part of this movie. My biggest issue with this movie, though, guys, and look, we're going to talk about James Gunn as a director. I'm not a James Gunn hater. I actually respect some work that he's done. I love Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, and 3. This movie was corny and campy, and you're probably looking at me like, well, Guardians of the Galaxy had that same feel to it, which is true. But the thing is that for that movie, for Guardians of the Galaxy, that humor works because that's the characters. That's who they are. They're thieves, they're criminals, they're lost. They don't really know what they're doing. They have problems.
Look around at us. You know what I see? Losers.
And so the tone in Guardians, which is that kind of dumb humor, it works. And the problem is James Gunn tried to take that and put it in Superman. Superman is a lighthearted character, so I understand why they would want to go in that direction, but the problem I'm having with kind of this stupidity, which in my opinion, it's not even funny, is there needs to be balance, right? Now, with this idea in mind, I am a little biased. People who know me well, my best friends know that I like darker tone movies. I like kind of anti-heroes who kind of struggle with the complexity of their choices and they tend to make mistakes or darker choices, which feels a little more practical, which feels a little heavier. I love Daredevil, Wolverine, Batman, Nightwing. Very dark characters, right? Very different from Superman. So obviously going into this movie, I knew Superman wasn't going to be my favorite, especially because I'm not huge into watching kind of that lighthearted tone. And the thing is, you can have either a lighthearted movie or a darker tone movie and still bring in humor, right? To me, it's all about balance. Don't tell me that you can't have a dark tone feeling with humor. It's worked before, right? We've seen it. If you don't believe me, I'm giving this movie a 3.5 out of 10 because it's just my preference. Now look, I can see why with this movie, 50% may actually like it and 50% may not like it. I have a lot of friends who really love Superman. That's their favorite character. They like those lighter characters. And there is nothing wrong with that at all. Respect to them. I want people to go into a theater and watch what they enjoy. If you want to go in and see a true, genuine hero who's battling with some internal conflicts and they fly around in tights and they save cats out of trees and they fight big monsters, look, you're probably gonna like Superman. And that's great for you. It's about what you like. People like some things and some people don't like those, and vice versa. But I mean, to me, this movie, it just wasn't my style. It wasn't really what I liked. I was so annoyed throughout the movie. And that's just why I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 10. And yes, you are going to get 2 cameos that I think you'll be very happy with. There are some shots that look like they were taken right out of a comic book, so you comic book lovers are going to love that. But for anyone, who is more into that more practical, darker tone, like myself, you may want to wait on this one. You may not enjoy it. But look, that's really all I had to say about this video. I am interested to see what you guys have to say. That is going to be a wrap. So make sure you like and share this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.